Welcome back to another episode on the Cornerstone SMP. We're continuing the project that we left off last episode, and I need to catch you up a little bit because some stuff has happened. As you can see, it's changed quite a lot already. I actually did some of this on stream as well. Yeah, you can see it's filled in quite a bit. We have a few more buildings. It started off with just this fountain there and the building over here. That's where we left off last episode. But as you can see, there's a bunch more buildings now. I also already have a few details put in, like this flower bush, for example, some lanterns, bushes, greenery. I really like how we have a lot of this tall grass everywhere, because I feel like it's right at the border of almost feeling overgrown with the bushes as well, but not quite. Like, we still have people here maintaining it. It's just a really sleepy little town, right? This is supposed to be like a vacation, a place you want to vacation and have just a really relaxed and calm vacation, and I think it does already feel super calming, so that's making me happy. The buildings are still empty, but at least it's not just facades like I sometimes do. We have backs on them. There are a few holes though. This is the latest edition. It's a little smithy. That's the only building that's more detailed out on the inside, if you can call it an inside since it's so open. We have the anvil outside and some workstations in here. Tiny workbench. I really love the mini blocks. They're so awesome for decorating. Then here's a bunch of open space still left. I'm gonna put probably a little marketplace there. And there's this gap that I'm not 100% on yet how I'm gonna leave that. Maybe I'll put a building in there. Maybe a tree could also be cool. Or maybe I'll leave it open. Actually, yeah, see, there's this naturally generated path right there from the village. That savannah village, so it actually would make sense to kind of leave that open as a way of leaving that connected up, or maybe even connecting it up properly in the future. You can see it's a pretty, like, the village is pretty cool the way that it's generated, so this could potentially be a future project where we do a little village restoration, and then it would be cool if we leave that gap in our town up on the plateau open and have that connect up properly. Yeah, so that's probably what I'm going to do, or at least, like, I'm going to leave it as is for now and not put anything there, in case we do that in the future. And I really also love the color palette here. I've used this before last season as well, a lot of the granite and brick together, you know, that just goes so well, and then the sandstone and some grey with stone or andesite. But I just like it so much, it's so pleasant, and now added with the mud brick, that works also so well. Because it's really muted palette. You have the sandstone and birch, which is just this beige, and then the muted brown of the mud, and you know, the grey of the stone, and a little pop of color with granite, but it's still kind of muted. But what's also great about that is that colored glass really works with that as windows. Initially, I just put in light grey, you know, the traditional boring glass that goes with pretty much anything. But I then decided let's bring in some proper color, you know, because everything's so muted, which is great. It's really pleasant and really calming, I think, to look at. It's a nice unified look as well. But let's bring in a pop with some colorful windows, and that's what we have here. Mostly just blue and red. Yeah, I think it works really well. Also, I think the way that the grass is shaded in the savanna biome, also again muted, you know, like a grayish green. So the glass also doesn't feel like too much, which is what often happens with colored glass. It just gets too busy. And it's of course inspired by the big colorful windows in the villa that we've had here for a long time. You know, built this villa really early on in the season. And yeah, it means we have, you know, we bring some ideas over from the villa to our new town buildings to make it feel unified, and also because it just looks really pretty. There you can see it from the air as well. It's really, like, it's awesome. It's filling the area up and really gives the arena a bit more sense, I think. It's not just this lonely big horse arena up on the plateau, but now we actually have a town that it kind of belongs to. And I just want to detail it out more now. I think we have enough buildings. Maybe I'll add one or two more at some point. Oh, actually, let's update the map. You know, the big world map that we have. Let's fly down into the cave. I don't think I've shown you this. I mean, there's not that much to see, but... So here we are in the Dwarven Kingdom. You've of course seen this. And up here in the rock is where I keep the map. Could use some more work, this area for sure. We will get there. But, yeah, this is like the mother map, you could say. So every other world map that we have on the server that someone bought at RandO is a copy of this one. This is the original. It used to be up in the villa, but then got too big, so I moved it down here. So when I update this one, it means all the other copies automatically update as well. I do that every now and again, like for example here, the railroad, right? I built that just recently and then afterwards updated the map so you can see that on there, leading over to Hicks's. Also Chuckle's big castle, for example, there on the mountain, that's fairly new, and I updated that recently. And there I also tagged some of the new guys. I need to ask where Andy's base is, I'm still missing that one, but we have Ducky, for example, who's one of the new members. But yeah, let's update my base. I want to see the new town on there. Oh, it's nighttime, but you can probably still tell. Yeah. There it is. It is pretty small though, because this map is zoomed out by 1 since it covers such a big space, right? Oh gosh, I really love flying down here. Yeah, it's zoomed out by 1. I actually think this could be a cool detail to add to the town as well. Have a map of just the base that's not zoomed out, so we can see some more details. So 4 maps in total, covered pretty much all of the base, and you can already see this looks a lot more interesting and detailed than the scaled down version of the big world map. I also marked all the most important parts of the base, so we have the arena, the town is now called Smokey Springs, there's the llama stable, nether portal, the earthworms, the dwarvish harbour, the train station, the giant turtles, the villa, frog house and the hobbit hole. So we really have a bunch of little spots that you could view as like sightseeing spots, and so as I said earlier, this new town that we have here, Smokey Springs, is kind of supposed to feel like a place you want a vacation in, right? And so we now have this map which just would guides the tourists through the area, so that also makes a lot of sense, I think. And there's something else to show you, and that is inside of this building. It would be awesome if in the future all of these buildings have some kind of purpose to them and something inside them, something practical. For now it's just this one, and that is, there you can see, it's a pickle farm. And it works, is the good news. It's a design by XP Crafted. I'll put the link to the tutorial, of course, in the channel description, so you can check that out if you need a pickle farm. And there you can see it's working away. Takes a lot of bone meal, but luckily I do of course have the skeleton spawner down in the Dwarven Kingdom, so bone meal is not a problem. It is also one of the things that I'm selling in RandO. But before I get to more explaining about the pickles, because you might be wondering why do we have those? Why do I need a farm for that? I want to make this interior look a bit prettier and not like messy and just have grass in the building. Sounds like it went through the 2 dispensers full of bone meal. So let's turn it off for now. Yeah, those dispensers are empty. So this is how much 2 dispensers full of bone meal got us. As I said, it takes a lot of it. So it does only make sense to have a farm like this if you already have a good income of bone meal, for sure. Let's turn that back on. The inside of the building is looking much better now. Just a bit cleaner, and we have also some space for a workbench and a chest. You can always use some storage next to a farm, right? That's how many pickles we're on right now. I'm gonna let this run for a while longer. I want to get about a shulker full, I'd say, and that is because we need a new thing to sell in RandO. My main shop in the shopping district, the biggest one of the three and a half now that I have. Because, of course, Chuckles and I built the music shop last episode, which means I moved all the records and the music discs that I was selling in RandO over to that shop. We now have a really sad-looking empty spot in RandO, and I want to fill it with sea pickles, but also with coral blocks and coral fans. And while you can farm sea pickles, as was just proven, you can't do that with coral. Like, you can't build a farm for it. You can't automate it, not really, so this is going to be a little tedious, but also means it's something a bit more rare, a more rare resource, right? Which is perfect, of course, for the shop RandO. which does stand for rarities and obscurities. So I think it'll be a great item to sell in there. It's just gonna mean I'll spend a while in this here coral reef, chipping away at the blocks and fans with my Silk Touch pickaxe, of course. I've run out of all the bone meal that I brought over from RandO and what I had in just sitting in my skeleton spawner. But I got a good amount of sea pickles from that. I think that's enough for... I'm happy with that as the beginning stock. It's almost a chest full. There's RandO, a big turtle. Someone's doing something up here on the hill, I think. I mean, it looks like someone is working on it in some way. I'm curious to see what that's gonna turn into. Let's hop on down. And there's of course the now empty space where I used to sell music discs and music disc bundle deals. But now we can put in the sea pickles and coral fans. I brought banners, of course. RandO is of course this season kind of like my own personal mall. So we want to make sure that people can find the unique shop sections quickly. So I think I'm gonna sell the pickles for 1 diamond per stack. That could be something I'll make cheaper in the future depending on the reception, I guess. Because as you saw, I got them a lot easier than the coral, of course. And coral, for now, I'm gonna make 1 diamond for 32 for both blocks and fans. Oh gosh, I'm struggling to make the coral fans look aesthetically pleasing inside the chest, which is probably kind of silly to worry about, but that's really messy. I guess it'll have to do for now. So coral fans, again 32 for 1 diamond, just like the coral blocks. It always feels good to be able to put something new in stock in the shops. So yeah, there we have it. Sea pickles and coral now for sale in RandO. Next episode we will finish off Smokey Springs, our new town at the base. But for today that's gonna be it, so I hope you enjoyed and I will see you on the next one. Bye!